third time is the charm. No matter what happens, I'm going to get through this video today. I want to talk about I want to talk about a place in my own yoga practice where I have friction. There are 8 limbs of yoga. There's yamas, which are kind of like a top-down approach to not be a dick. There's the niyamas, which are essentially a how-to manual. You know, how to navigate through some ideas regarding the first one. There's pranayama, which is cultivation of breath and vitality. There's the asana practice. There's concentration, withdrawing the senses, meditation, and merging with the divine. Of all of those things, asana practice is one. Interestingly enough, we can find all of those things in asana practice if we cultivate them. If we get to a studio and they're like, today we're going to do yoga, and then you do 75 knee to nose and you're doing, you know, you're like, hey, all right, here, whoa, right? You're not, like, I have a problem with this idea. It's calisthenics. There's bodybuilding, there's calisthenics, there's exercise, and those things are all great. I do them. But if you tell somebody, hey, let's go out to dinner, and when they show up, your idea of dinner is to go to a 24-hour movie marathon with no food, they'll be confused. They might like movies, they might like movie marathons, they might like the movies playing on this movie marathon, but they thought they were going to dinner. And we have a multitude of modalities being presented today in our space called yoga, and they're not. And I'm going to keep shouting this from the rooftops, because we can have all those other things. We can be authentic about all those other things. We don't have to have those things occupy a space where we call those things yoga. People understand names to associate them with certain things, and therefore they have intentions behind them. The original yogic texts, and listen for a second, well, side note, I'm the last guy to sit and crow about tradition. I truly believe that people that we look to today as masters, I believe that they were renegades in their time. They saw the system that was, and they saw that it was missing something, or that it was, missing something. And they sought to remedy that, and they were called out for it as being renegades, as being misanthropes. And they believed very strongly with what they were saying, and ultimately I believe that the arts have moved forward because of this, and it's happened in every kind of art there is. The renegades make waves and make change, and I think that's good. But there is something to be said about tradition. Not all of it is terrible. Not all of it is bad. And to reject it outright because it's tradition, well, that's just foolish. Just like to reject something outright because it's new, it's foolish. It's my good sound effects. It's because I have yoga blocks handy. So, calisthenics are calisthenics. Aerobics is aerobics. Pilates is Pilates. Karate is karate. Taekwondo is taekwondo. Like, we have words that mean things so that we understand them when we speak them to each other. And I believe you can have a space. In fact, I know for a fact. Thank goodness for my GoPro to randomly shut off. It really does add so much to my videos. I know for a fact that we can have all of these things exist side by side, because they do right now. But more and more and more often we see yoga classes billed as yoga classes, and what they are is calisthenics. And that bothers me. Because we can just call them what they are, which is calisthenics and yoga. We understand this because there's very specific intention behind asana practice. We're trying to cultivate the 8 limbs of yoga in asana practice. And if all you're doing is sweating out your face parts while desperately trying to keep up with somebody who's up there going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, or whatever it is they're doing, maybe they're counting slow, it doesn't matter. The point is, if you're not able to practice your breathing and to consider what the other 8 limbs of yoga are, which I'm not going to go into right now, then you're not really immersed in your asana practice. You're practicing a piece of your asana practice. And even that is okay if we're being transparent about it. Okay? That's my major qualm here. Qualm? It's a weird word. Weird word. That's my major problem. I like some of these classes. I've been to them. I have no problem with them. What I have is the misunderstanding that they're yoga when they're a portion of our asana practice. It's true that the 8 limbs of yoga can be broken into tinier pieces so that we can understand them better and we can look at them and can apply them to our lives. And asana practice is no different. It too can be broken down into smaller pieces so that we can examine it and look at it and fit it into our lives. But it's best practiced intentionally, like anything. And yes, looking at this whole idea that I just presented to you through the niyamas, it's appropriate and it works just fine. To a degree, because I'm still human like anybody else. Is it a pure thought to want to cultivate mindfulness and awareness of the differences between these types of modalities? Yeah. I'm not trying to condemn any of them. Do I have the discipline to keep this up? I don't know. I'm working on it. I got a little bit of support from some other yoga teachers. A lot of other yoga teachers just often they end the conversation with, well, you know what? People just want to move. That's great. Let them move. They can move all damn day. Just say that's what it is what I'm saying. Call it what it is. Calisthenics, Pilates, whatever. Jazzercise. Get your jazz on. Yeah, people want to move. That's fine. Don't tell them it's yoga. When nobody stands still for even one whole inhale and one whole exhale, unless they're in Savasana. Self-reflection in my own practice. Am I practicing what I'm preaching? Yeah, sometimes to a fault. What else is in there? We got purity and contentedness and self-reflection. Oh, contentedness. That one I struggle with. I'm not sure how to be content here. And remember, the niyamas are not a pass-fail. The niyamas are a what-if. So it's a good thing that I can sit here and say that I'm not sure how I'm applying contentedness. Can I be content with teaching what I teach and let others teach what they teach? Like, kinda. Until they call it yoga. And then I want to mention, well, I mean, really, it's kind of a mix of bodyweight exercises and yoga. Surrender. If all of these efforts come to nothing, can I surrender to this? I don't know. I don't know exactly where to put surrender on this one either. Like I said, it's not a pass-fail. It's a way for us to gauge what we're doing. And I don't always do it well. The point is to attempt. The point is to make the effort. The point is to intend to do so. Because even just by intending to do so, sometimes the results are more beneficial than we anticipated. So that's my rant and rave today. I was not on a soapbox. I'm on my mat, believe it or not. And my mat is not soapbox shaped. That's what I got for you today. Consider it. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe you don't want it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for lending an ear. Namaste.